Every child dreams. A vibrant, uncomplicated world, full of endless, bright possibilities. Building sandcastles, scraped knees, the comforting rhythm of an ordinary life. But for some, a different fate. A shadow looms, not born of darkness, but of blinding light. The parent, a titan, a name whispered, revered, a legend etched into the world's psyche. You were born into that myth, not as a person, but as an extension, a footnote. They were everywhere, yet nowhere. Their presence, a deafening echo in your quiet rooms. Their face, on magazine covers, concert stages, history books, never across the breakfast table. Childhood memories, fragmented, glimpses of a fleeting figure, a voice on the phone. The world saw a hero. You saw an empty chair, a profound, aching, silent absence. This is the brutal cost, the sacrifice demanded when your parent is an absent icon. Others had bedtime stories. You had documentaries about your parents' conquests. They had comforting hugs. You had framed awards, collecting dust, a cold, hard substitute. School plays, milestones, first heartbreaks. Who was there to genuinely witness them? The nannies, the assistants, the handlers. A revolving door of paid, temporary care. Every achievement felt hollow. Who truly celebrated you, beyond polite obligation? That unique ache in your chest, the yearning for a presence that could never truly be yours. You learned self-reliance fast, a sharp, lonely independence, forged in isolation's fire. The icon's triumphs became your burden, their glory your invisible, crushing weight. You lived in a gilded cage, every comfort a stark reminder of what was truly missing. The world applauded their sacrifice for art, for humanity. It was your sacrifice. Are you as talented? Will you follow their footsteps? A constant, deafening hum. Every accomplishment, every failure, immediately measured against their impossible yardstick. You couldn't just be. You were always the child of. Your name, an asterisk. The public loved their legend. They scrutinized your every move, hungry for a legacy. How do you define yourself when your identity is pre-written, prejudged, pre-owned? The fight for your own voice became a desperate, primal scream into the void. To escape the shadow, you had to become something else. Anything but them. But their DNA ran through you. Their talent, their demons, an undeniable inheritance. It wasn't just physical resemblance, it was the internal battle, the mirror showing them. You hated it. You loved it. A maddening paradox, tearing your very soul apart. The desperate choices. Wild nights, bad decisions, anything to feel something real. Tattoos, strange careers, loud music, a rebellion against the whispered expectations. To carve out space, you often carved wounds, self-sabotage as a twisted form of control. Every path diverged, a defiant declaration. I am not merely an echo, I am myself. The crushing loneliness of that path. Understanding glances were rare, judgment, constant. Some found solace in drugs, in fame's fleeting embrace, mirroring their parents' struggles. Others vanished, became hermits, determined to shred every last thread of connection. The constant battle to separate their myth from your messy, human reality. Was this your ambition, or the ghost of their unfulfilled dreams haunting you? This was a war fought within, every inch of identity, a hard-won, bloody territory. The constant fear of failure, amplified by the icon's towering success. The equally terrifying fear of success, if it meant becoming too much like Notham. Trust became a luxury. Were people drawn to you, or just the reflected glory? Relationships were complex, riddled with suspicion, tainted by the legacy's glare. The The public grief for their parents' absence. Your private grief, far more profound, ignored. You mourned a person you barely knew, yet whose absence shaped your entire existence. The world projected fantasies onto you. You were a symbol, never truly a soul. The internal voice, constantly questioning, am I enough on my own terms? A perpetual state of performance, even in private, the audience never truly left. The exhaustion of fighting a war nobody else even fully comprehended. Some eventually found peace, a quiet corner, far from the blinding spotlight. Others embraced the legacy, but on their own terms, a carefully negotiated truce. They repurposed the myth, used its power, but wielded it with their unique purpose. This wasn't surrender. It was a strategic retreat, a reclamation of their own narrative. The strength forged in that shadow. Resilience, born from constant psychological siege. Every choice, a defiant brushstroke on a canvas pre-painted by another's fame. The courage to look at the icon, not with resentment, but with brutal, clear-eyed understanding. They were flawed. They were human. Their absence, a consequence of their own relentless pursuit. This understanding, a painful, hard-won freedom, the chains of resentment finally loosening. But the scars remained, deep, permanent, etched into the soul's very fabric. That internal landscape, forever altered, a terrain shaped by a giant's footsteps. The wisdom gleaned from living under the harshest spotlight, yet being unseen. A unique empathy for other children of Titans, bound by an invisible, shared burden. They carry their parents' name, not as an honor, but a birthright, a brand, a heavy inheritance. The constant negotiation with public memory, with private pain, with their own identity. They are the living archives, the breathing testament to an icon's true human cost. The world only saw the glory. They lived the lonely, fractured aftermath. To survive this demanded a will of iron, a spirit that refused to be extinguished. It demanded guts. To face an icon's shadow and declare, I am more. More than a reflection. More than a legacy. More than Tom Steed, their child. The true cost? Never truly knowing if you nature are loved, or if it's just their echo. The sacrifice? Your authentic self, constantly battling a public construct. The guts? To choose to live, to define, to exist, against all overwhelming odds. It's an endless war, a quiet, personal apocalypse fought on the world stage. The weight of an absent legend, a ghost whose presence is more real than any living person. You carry their immortality, a burden heavier than any trophy, any accolade. You become the monument to their absence, the silent, screaming testament. They gave the world a masterpiece. They gave you an empty space in your soul, a profound, agonizing truth. Their greatness was built upon your small, broken pieces. And the world celebrates, utterly oblivious to the shattered life beneath the pedestal.